Hi, happy May 25th, 2020. Which is known as Memorial Day, happy Memorial Day, but it's also the month of May, which is Asian American Heritage Month in the United States. So happy Asian American Heritage Month. And so for this year, for the year 2020, I decided to interview some of, as you know, I'm your friendly neighborhood fingerpicker that lives in Baltimore, Maryland. So for this year in 2020, I decided to interview some of my favorite Asian American artists around Baltimore and Maryland for Asian American Heritage Month. And I already posted the first interview I did with Rahul Mukerji, who's my friend, a excellent Indo-Fusion rock guitarist. If you haven't already, check out that interview. It was posted earlier this month in I believe the first week of May. And about a week ago, I was able to conduct an interview with the Baltimore R&B artist NB Kim. I met MB a few years ago. We're both members of BARS, which is the Baltimore Asian Resistance and Solidarity Group in Baltimore, Maryland, and we actually did some shows together in the past, MB and I. But this time, I was able to interview MB, talk about MB's music. So the interview is actually already done, but I'm just waiting for Emmy to review the interview and approve it before I post it online. So it's just waiting for Emmy's approval. So hopefully we can get the Emmy Kim interview up soon for the month of May. And for this interview that you're listening right now, I decided to sort of interview myself. You know, it's a crazy time that we're living in, but during this time, recently, during this time period of the quarantine, I've been able to write a few new songs that I'd like to share with you listeners out there on the internet land. And the other interviews, I'm gonna showcase 3 of my songs, and no one else is interviewing me, so I'm gonna sort of interview myself, or at least talk about the songs, what they're about. So this first song that I'm gonna showcase for y'all, it's a song inspired by this kind of crazy pandemic situation that we're currently in. You know, I never thought that during a pandemic that one of the most sought after commodities would be toilet paper. You know, it's just sort of a bizarre world that we live in, where, you know, the paper towels and toilet paper, out of all the things that we're hoarding, that toilet paper is this precious commodity. I thought it was kind of amusing, so I decided to write a song about that. I wondered what it would be like if you're fortunate to not be able to find toilet paper. And so this is what this song I'm about to play, it's called Stinky Butt, aka the toilet paper blues. Because hey, you know, if you have no toilet paper lying around, you know, it might start to itch a little down there and stuff. So I was imagining this scenario. Thankfully I have toilet paper stocked up. But what if you didn't? So this is what this next song is about. It's called Stinky Butt, and I hope you enjoy it.
That dude sure has a stinky butt from Lord knows what. Lord knows he hasn't cleaned down there since his last row. That dude, he went down to the store to buy some toilet paper. The clerk said, "We're also down. Come back later." That stinky butt, it needs some paper. I need it now. I can't wait later. I need some charmin' or angel soft, or else I'll have to use my clock that I do when online to order of the day. Toilet paper sold out everywhere. It's the only way. He waited a long, long time for his order to come, but they stole the package from his work, and now it's all gone. That Stinky Butt, it needs some paper. I need it now. I can't wait later. I need some charmin' or angel soft, or else I'll have to use my claw. That Stinky Butt, it needs some paper. I need it now. I can't wait later. I need some charmin' or angel soft, or else I'll have to use my claw. That dude ordered a lot of from Uber Eats. It didn't settle too well in his stomach right after his piece. He ran down to the restroom to empty out his guts. Too bad he's all out of toilet paper. Now he's got a stinky butt.
So there you have it. That's my new song, Stinky Butt, aka the Toilet Paper Blues, by Steve Hung. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it humorous and you got a laugh out of it. The history of the song, I started writing this song in early March. This is when this whole pandemic thing was taking hold, and when people were starting to freak out and hoard up on toilet paper was when I decided to write this song, Stinky Butt, early March. So as a guitarist, I also want to do some equipment nerding out and talk about the guitar that I used to record Stinky Butt. So also in early March, I decided to buy a used resonator guitar from Atomic Music in Beltsville, Maryland. Shout out to Atomic Music, the best music store, in my opinion, my favorite music store in the DC, Baltimore metro area. And no, they're not paying me to say this. So, all the musicians, almost all the musicians know about Atomic Music. But in case you don't, you can really get a great deal on a used instrument from Atomic Music. So anyways, I bought a resonator guitar to record Stinky Butt, and I bought it in early March too, because I had a feeling that when this pandemic was unfolding in early March that we would be in lockdown soon. So I decided to amuse myself and buy myself a new used instrument to keep myself company and occupied and busy if I'm ever in lockdown. And I'm glad I bought that resonator guitar. So if you know anything about resonator guitars, it's usually used in blues music, and you usually play slide guitar. Use a slide to slide on the strings on the resonator guitar. And resonator guitars, especially in open G tuning, it's usually used when you want to play really gritty, dirty, swampy blues, like Mississippi Delta blues or Louisiana style swampy blues. That's usually when you use a resonator guitar. So I always wanted a resonator guitar. I play slide, but previously to buying the resonator guitar, whenever I wanted to play and slide, I'll just tune my normal Martin guitar, regular acoustic Martin guitar in open G tuning and play slide on that. But I always liked the way that a resonator sounds, that gritty, dirty, swampy sound. And so it just kind of came hand in hand, because a resonator has a dirty, gritty, swampy sound, and not having toilet paper is a gritty, dirty, swampy situation. So it all came together kind of naturally. I bought the guitar, the resonator guitar, and then I noticed that people were freaking out about toilet paper, and then that's when the creative juices started flowing. I said, hey, I've got an instrument that produces a swampy sound, and let me write swampy lyrics. And then I believe if this whole pandemic situation didn't happen, if COVID had never happened, I still would have bought the resonator guitar, and I still would have wrote the song, but would have had different lyrics. So the lyrics would have been something else, but the riffs, the music, the guitar part, the other part of the music would have been the same. So somewhere in an alternate universe is the same song with different lyrics. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed Stinky Butt, aka the Toilet Paper Blues. And also I plan on recording or filming a music video for it soon, sometime this summer. So keep an eye out for the Stinky Butt, aka Toilet Paper Blues music video. So this next song that I'd like to share with you, it's a song I also wrote recently during this pandemic. It's not about the pandemic though. This next song is called Baltimore Punk Song. So as a musician, I tour around the country, play shows all around the United States. And usually I start off during my show, I say, hi, greetings, name of the city. My name is Steve Hung. I'm your local friendly acoustic finger picker. I'm a finger picker from Baltimore, Maryland. And that's usually how what I do during my shows. And after the show, when I'm just chilling at the bar or whatever, I get lots of questions about what's like living in Baltimore. Is it anything like The Wire? And I get lots of questions about what was the music scene like in Baltimore, Maryland. So I usually tell them about this the Station North music scene in Baltimore, that there's a lot of punk rock, a lot of indie rock, a lot of the DIY stuff, a lot of electronica and experimental music out of Baltimore, Maryland. So as I'm traveling all these different cities throughout Tennessee, Texas, West Virginia, I feel that I'm sort of a ambassador of Baltimore, that I'm explaining, I don't play those styles of music, but I'm explaining to people around the country about the music coming out of Baltimore if they ask questions about it. So anyways, fast forward to now during this pandemic, and as I'm sitting there in lockdown, I decide to reflect that and write a song, and which in my opinion encompasses the spirit of the Baltimore music scene, specifically the spirit of the Baltimore punk scene. So this is so I decided to write this song, Baltimore Punk Song, and I hope you enjoy it. This is Baltimore Punk Song.
I'm so pumped, don't wanna be sober, yeah, I'd rather be drunk. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped.
How pumped are you?
So fucking pumped. I'm so pumped. punk are you? So fucking punk! I'm so punk! How punk are you? So fucking punk! I'm so punk! How punk are you? So fucking punk! I'm so punk! I'm so punk! I'm so punk! I'm so punk!
So there you have it. That was my new song, Baltimore Punk Song. So if you don't live in Baltimore, Maryland, and you want to kind of get a feel or an idea of what the music scene, the original DIY music scene is like in Baltimore, I hope that song kind of gives you an idea. So oh, by the way, it's just a third person perspective of what the Baltimore punk scene is like, because obviously, I'm an acoustic folk fingerpicker. I do not play punk. I'm not a punk musician. I'm not a Baltimore punk musician. But this is just written from the perspective of someone that's been living in Baltimore for about a decade, and my perspective on the Baltimore music scene. So, hope you enjoyed it. So, anyways, also another note. All the songs that you've listened to on this podcast, I wrote and recorded these songs recently in the month of May, so they haven't been properly mixed and mastered yet. So you're listening to sort of the rough mix of the song. So for Baltimore Punk Song, I don't know if I'm going to publish it in the future. I know Stinky Butt, I want to do a music video out of it, so eventually that song is going to be professionally mixed and mastered, and so I can do the music video for it. But the other songs, I'm not sure. These are kind of songs I wrote recently during the month of May, so I'm showcasing some of my newest songs to give you you listeners out there of the new songs I've been working on and what's been up with me lately. So the final and last song that I like to share with y'all, it's actually not a new song that I wrote recently. It's actually a old song. I wrote it a few years ago. It's called No McDonalds, and it's actually a remake of an old folk song called Oh Susanna, Don't You Cry For Me. I sort of rearranged the lyrics to sing No McDonald's, I'll never cry for you. So the history behind the song I wrote a few years ago for a bars event. But anyways, before in case you're wondering what bars is, it's a organization in Baltimore called the Baltimore Asian Resistance and Solidarity, that sort of I guess they try to bring Asian American awareness and the Baltimore area. So anyways, a few years ago, I don't remember the year, it was probably around 2017 or 2016, but a few years ago, bars had a event where they showcased different musicians and stuff, and the theme of this event was called Existence Resistance. So I decided to write this a song for this event that happened a few years ago for bars, and so this is where the song No McDonalds came from. And the theme of that event from a few years ago was existence and resistance as Asian Americans. And so I actually have a childhood memory about culinary resistance that my mom sort of instilled in all of us. So growing up as kids, as second generation Chinese Americans, United States, my mom, she didn't want us eating fast food or typical American junk food like hamburgers, pizza, McDonald's, fast food. She always had a mistrust and fast food, that it was processed and stuff. And of course, now that's all obvious in this day and age, but you have to keep in mind this was in the 90s, and so it was really popular in elementary school after after class, some of my friends would invite me, hey, let's go get a Happy Meal at McDonald's after class. And then, of course, my mom didn't allow that. She's like, no, you're not eating at McDonald's. You're going to come home and have some nice home-cooked Chinese food. So this is what this next song, No McDonalds, is about: culinary resistance. And it was written a few years ago purposely for a bars event in which the theme was existence and resistance. I decided to write this song back in that event to follow in the theme of resistance, in this case culinary resistance. But I decided to showcase this song again for 2020, in May 2020, because even though that song was originally written about culinary resistance, it's really important during this time of the COVID, of the quarantine, to stay healthy, to keep your bodies healthy and in good shape. So this song has taken new meaning for me in this COVID era about staying healthy and staying in shape. So I hope you enjoy this next song, No McDonalds. There is a restaurant in every city all across the country. It's called McDonald's. You never eat there no matter how much you're hungry. No Burger King, no KFC, no Dairy Queen, Shake Shack. You eat that kind of food, you get really fat. I said no McDonald's, I never cry for you. Cause you eat McDonald's, you get so fat, you get really fat. I said no McDonald's, I never cry for you. Cause you eat McDonald's, you get so fat, you get really fat. When you eat McDonald's, you get really sick, and then it's no fun. You should eat more vegetables like choy sum. When you eat McDonald's, it's no good for young girls and boys. You should eat more vegetable like bok choy. I said no McDonald's, I never cry for you. Cause you eat McDonald's, you get so fat, you get really fat. I said no McDonald's, I never cry for you. When you eat McDonald's, you get so fat, you get really fat. No McDonald's, no KFC, no Burger King. What? You have a pizza party sleepover tonight? Oh, no pizza for you. Mama cooked nice healthy Chinese vegetable dinner for you. You eat mama dinner and then go to sleep over. No pizza, no McDonald's, I never cry for you. When you eat McDonald's, you get so fat, you get really fat. I said no McDonald's, I never cry for you. You eat McDonald's, you get so fat, you get really fat. So there you have it. That was an old song that I wrote a few years ago, No McDonalds, and I hope you've been enjoying this podcast, especially checking out some of the new material that I've been working on while on lockdown. I hope everyone's having a safe quarantine time, and I hope everyone's having a good Memorial Day, a good Asian American Heritage Month this month. I know it sucks that we're in lockdown for this month, but I still hope everyone's having an enjoyable time. Originally, back in February, I was playing for this event. It was supposed to be a live music showcase with me, Rahul, MB Kim, and we were supposed to play live in a Baltimore venue. But of course, because of this COVID thing, I decided to take this podcast route since we all have to quarantine and be on lockdown. But hey, one of the good things about this podcast is, like the Rahul podcast, I really got to chat with him for over an hour and kind of pick his brain and all these artists' brain, and talk more in depth about the stories behind the songs than if we had all done like if instead of if we had done a live music showcase, because in the live music showcase it would have been more about the performance and less about the interview and diving deep into these songs and stuff. So hopefully next year for May 2021, this COVID situation will be under control and we won't have to be in lockdown anymore, and hopefully next year we can have a live music showcase in Baltimore. So anyways, we still have one more week left in the month of May, and there's one more artist that I need to release. As I said earlier in this interview, I interviewed the Baltimore R&B artist Emmy Kim about a week or two ago. So the interview's done. I'm just waiting for Emmy to look over the interview and get Emmy's approval, but before I release it, hopefully sometime this week. So keep an eye out on that. Be on the lookout that I'm going to release one more interview before the month of May is over, and that's with Emmy Kim. So anyways, if you can find more about my music, my name is Steve Hung, H-U-N-G, as in I hung up the phone. I have a Facebook page. I have a website at stevehungmusic.com, and you're already on my YouTube channel. But in case you're listening to this in another format, I also have a YouTube channel, YouTube/user/Steve Hung Music is the name of my channel, Steve Hung Music. And I'm also going to post these links to my social media in the link below in the YouTube description. So anyways, I hope everyone stays safe in the quarantine. I hope you have a good Asian American Heritage Month, and remember to stay safe, fill up on your fluids, on your vitamin C, and your toilet paper.